Good morning. This is the Board of Appeals, Town of Hempstead, May 28th, 2025, 9:30 meeting. Will everybody please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Mr. Chairman, do you have any opening remarks?
Yes. Good morning. Are there any people in the audience who haven't been here before? Okay. So the manner in which we conduct the hearings are as follows. The applicant will present their case first. If there are any people here who object to the application, they'll be given the opportunity to object, and then we allow the applicant or their representative to sum up. All the proceedings are videotaped. You can refer to them later if you wish. They're archived. We have a court reporter who takes everything down. The rules of evidence do not, strict rules of evidence don't apply. We take any kind of evidence within reason that you would like to submit, letters, emails. We consider all of it before we make our decisions. Some decisions are going to be made this afternoon. Others will take a little longer. Those who have signed in will ordinarily be given, not ordinarily, you will be given notice of any decision that we make. Patrick?
Mr. Chairman, I do not have any applications for adjournment for this morning.
Right.
First, we'll be calling case 24925, West Hempstead, St. Thomas the Apostle Roman Catholic Church. Amusement rides special event, duration June 19th, 2025 through June 22nd, 2025, with tents southeast corner of Westminster Road and Argyle Road, also known as Church Parking Lot.
Is there anyone here on that case? Come up.
Joseph Rinaldi, 32 Taylor Road, Bethel, Connecticut, 06801.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you? Do you want to tell us about the event? It's not your first rodeo, I
No, it's
take
not.
it. How many years?
We've been doing this since, it's our 20th anniversary actually this year.
Okay.
We put on a family festival that we do to help the church. All the profits go to the church. There are rides, games, and food, and a dancing of the Giglio, which is an Italian tradition that we brought over from Naples, Italy.
How many, let's go through some basic stuff so we get it on the record. How many rides do you expect to have?
12 rides.
Okay. And what are the hours you plan to operate on June 19th through June 22nd, each day?
Each day, I have it right here. Just pull that out.
Okay.
So Thursday will be from, Thursday and Friday, 6:19 and 6:20 will be from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m.
Okay?
Saturday, June 21st will be from 12 p.m. to 11 p.m. And Sunday, June 22nd from 12 p.m. to 10 p.m.
Okay. Now, if there's any music, that needs to be ceased at 10 o'clock each night.
Correct.
At least, if not before. How have you planned for the sanitation? Will there be alcohol and food? And how have you planned for security? And did you notify your local precinct?
Yes, so sanitation, we've already spoken to the sanitation department. They will be picking up every night. Security, we will have security on staff from our members, as well as the Nassau County Police Department will be patrolling the area as well.
You
Will your
notified-
member,
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Will your members clearly be identified as
Yes,
security
with,
people?
Armbands, yes.
Okay.
No shirts that say
Shirts.
Well,
security?
we will have our own shirts on as well that say we're part of the festival,
Say what?
that we're part of the festival, on festival shirts.
Okay.
And
Because
security.
oftentimes they have shirts that just say security,
Security.
like they all have red shirts or yellow shirts. And it tends to at least let any potential bad actor know there is, it's
Yes.
being watched, and also if they're needed, they're there.
Yes.
And people who need help.
Okay.
As to the precinct? Which precinct are you in? Fifth?
No. I don't think. The 5th. West Hempstead.
This is my first time doing the permits for the feast.
We know.
Guy Mitchell, who usually does it, is sick, so I'm covering for him.
It's okay. Was a letter sent to whatever precinct it is?
Yes, it was certified mail, and I dropped one off personally as well.
Okay,
I
Great.
believe it was in Mineola, the main precinct.
Headquarters. That's headquarters.
okay, and
All
then,
right.
let's see, I guess you've
We covered it.
gone through the rides, the sanitation, the security, the hours of operation. You know the music needs to be off by
Stops at
10.
Yes.
I think that pretty much covers it.
Any other questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion from the bench?
I make a motion, file number 249, West Hempstead, St. Thomas Episcopal Church, for their special event be granted from the bench.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any
All right, have a good
opposed?
celebration, folks.
Thank you very much.
Pardon? All right, don't worry, I make notes.
Next, we have case
Oh, wait,
250.
hold it,
Oh, hold on.
hold it.
Sir?
We
You want to
forgot.
get him back? Well, wait a minute.
Give us 1 second.
Someone else wanted to speak on that case?
There was someone else who signed in on the case as an interested party. It was Abraham Abdur
Rahman.
Rahman. Sorry if I botched it. Okay, great.
Okay,
Go ahead,
all
sorry.
right.
False
Sorry.
alarm.
Thank you, guys.
Next, we have case 25025, West Hempstead, Ara Torresane. Renewal of grant to maintain two-family dwelling, also known as 256 Ivy Street.
No. Anyone here on that case? Put that on second call.
And the gentleman who, you also signed in on that case as an interested party. Right now, the representative's not here. We're going to second call it, which means we'll hear some other cases. So if you want to wait, you can. We'll figure it out as we go.
Next, we have case 25125, Levittown, Laura Balsam. Special exception to replace a second accessory structure, shed higher than permitted, also known as 26 Sunrise Lane.
Why is it second? Huh? Okay. What? No, no.
My name is Laura Balsam, 26 Sunrise Lane, Levittown.
Morning.
Morning.
You have
So-
you want to replace your
Replace the
second
shed.
shed. First one already has a permit, and it's apparently higher than it's allowed to be. The maximum height at the ridge is allowed at 9
9
feet.
feet.
You want to tell us how high yours is?
It's 11 feet.
Okay. And other than that, you don't need any other relief today, is that correct?
No, nothing else.
Okay. Any other questions from the board? Not, do I have a motion?
I move that the hearing be closed, that the matter be placed on the decision calendar. Ms. Balsam, you'll be notified by mail of the board's decision once it's rendered. So we'll make a lot of decisions this evening. Within maybe a week, if we decided your case tonight, you'll get a notice in the mail letting you know
Ally County.
Great.
the outcome.
Thank you.
All right, have a nice day.
Next, we have cases 25225 through 25325. Merrick Ali A. Khan. Variances, front yard setbacks on both streets. Maintain addition and attached dwelling. Variance, side yard. Maintain 2 AC units attached dwelling, also known as 136 Smith Street.
I've been told a representative is on his way. We will also place this on second call. Next.
Next, we have case 25425 through 25525, Lido Beach, Glenn Shannock and Lorena Shannock. Variance, lot area occupied, construct deck attached to dwelling, special exception to maintain accessory structure, gazebo higher than permitted with a lot area occupied variance, also known as 153 Regent Drive.
name is Lorena Shannock, and I live at 153 Regent Drive, Lido Beach, New York.
Glenn Shannick, I live at 153 Regent Drive. Sorry.
Much louder and clearer so she can take it.
My name is Dr. Glenn Shannick. I live at 153 Regent Drive, Lido Beach, New York.
And good morning, my name is Dennis Kelly. I am an attorney who represents the Shannocks. My office address is 120 West Park Avenue, Suite 311, Long Beach, New York, 11561. Here on behalf of the Shannocks, seeking two variances from the board. Good morning, Mr. Chairman and
Morning.
members. The Shannocks are seeking two variances. One is for lot coverage, and one is for, just like the recent case, height on an accessory structure in the yard. Currently, the house at 153 Regent Drive is in Residence B. The home already is occupying 30% of the lot area. We're now seeking a variance for a building area to add a deck of 316.2 square feet, which is about 5.2%, and a gazebo of 120 square feet, which is approximately 2%,
So what does that give us, 37 something?
37.8 for total yard.
May I ask you, if the board were to consider approving these proposals, I take it the gazebo's an open structure,
It's an open structure.
would your clients agree to a condition that neither the deck nor the gazebo ever be enclosed in any way?
Yes,
Okay, keep going.
yes. The deck measures 23 feet by 12.3 feet with a staircase of 1.3 feet by 6.6 feet. I have some photographs of the yard, just so you can see them.
We'll accept
5
those.
photographs for each of you.
Did you take them?
I took the pictures.
You took them?
I
When,
took them.
when did you do that?
I took these last night.
Okay, and they fairly and accurately represent what they purport to?
They do, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. And we'll accept them.
I'm sure you're aware the maximum height allowable on the gazebo is, it would be the same
It
as
was
a
9
shed.
feet.
We always treat them
9
like
feet.
sheds, but now we've got new information.
My
It's
understanding
nine-
is 9 feet,
And what is it?
and we're seeking 11.
Okay. As you said, just like the case before you.
Yeah, exactly. What you have in front of you, members of the board and Mr. Chairman, are 5 photographs that depict first off the front of the house on 153 Regent Drive in Lido Beach.
Yep.
And then subsequent to that, you'll see the rear of the house, the rear yard, which approximately, I believe is at least 35 feet from the rear of the house to the back fence. You'll see some structures that are already there. They're temporary structures. They're not secured to the ground.
Yeah.
Those will be coming down clearly. On the third photograph, now you're looking from the southeast corner where
Do you have
actually the gazebo
Yes, a temporary
will be
coming down.
constructed. And you're looking at the back of the house. That temporary structure that's there now will come off, and the deck will be coming out of the rear of the house there. The house is a split, so it has multiple stairs. The main living area of the house is actually on the second floor. I'll have Mrs. Shannock testify in a second about why she's seeking the deck along with Dr. Shannock. Again, just more pictures of the backyard. And like I said, the gazebo, in picture number 4 of the, I put them all in order for all of us, the gazebo will be going into that back rear corner, that southeast corner that you see depicted in photograph number 4.
Well, wait, it says that it's to maintain the gazebo.
Well, that gazebo there is going to, the gazebo that you see there now is going to be removed.
So it's really a replacement
Replace.
of the
Yes.
temporary structure with a permanent gazebo.
That's correct.
Yes.
And we have drawings in
You
here.
have the drawings of what's, right.
I just want to have you address this. We did receive one comment form related to the proposal, and all that's, it's not in opposition necessarily. They define themselves as interested, and they say the following: please make sure no bright lights in back or front of house.
We actually know who that is.
Okay.
I think that one of the immediate neighbors who the Shannocks have already spoken to, and I'll let them comment if the board wants, was complaining of another neighbor across another abutting rear yard that put up lights to illuminate the rear yard, all pointing directly at her back bedroom window. And she asked them to, just lower,
Well, shield them or something.
excuse me?
Shield them.
Yes, exactly, shield them, lower them, whatever it was, just to take them out of the rear window. I don't, and I'm not here to advocate on her behalf, but my understanding is that they didn't. So,
Okay, so you would agree that with any of this proposal, if it's approved, you'll avoid that situation by whatever lights will be shielded so as to not
Yes.
reflect into any of the neighbors' yards?
Yes. Right now, we have lighting. We have lighting, a lot of lighting, because I have also problems with my eyes, and I like everything bright.
Yes, I do
But
too.
all the lights, our lights, hit the fence.
Okay, great.
Not the neighbors, because I wouldn't like them to do that to me.
That's a good attitude.
Yes.
and with that, Mrs. D'Amato, I just thought I'd let Mrs. Shannock explain why she's seeking the deck.
Go ahead.
Okay, so, first of all, that's gonna be our forever home. We're not moving from there. My parents live with us. I live with my parents 71 years. They just passed away. And
Sorry.
they live 100, my dad, and 99, my mom.
Wow, you've got good odds.
Yes. So I have a debilitating disease, muscle debilitating disease myself. So I won't be able to go down the stairs in the next few years, go up the stairs. So that will be my way of being outside.
So, just looking forward, given what you've said, I'm wondering if there may come a point in time when you're going to need to enclose that. I don't know about that condition. Sometimes we get that. People
I'm
need to
sorry,
make
I
first
can't
floor
hear.
living.
Mrs. D'Amato said that she's already looking into the future for you. The question implies the possibility of enclosing it, perhaps?
No.
I mean, I was putting a
No.
condition, we were considering that, okay.
Well,
We'll
we
deal
can
with
come
it.
back and
You
apply
can-
again.
That's
if-
correct.
We'll
Yeah.
deal
Right?
with it.
You're aware that there are a number of open building permits? Those will all be closed out?
Yes.
Should this
Yes,
application be granted?
yes, Mr. Chairman.
I don't know if you heard earlier, but this evening, when we finish, we'll decide a lot of the cases. Some will need other inquiry, so we hold some of them. If you would like, tomorrow, you can call, say, after 10 or 10:30 and speak to our office to see whether or not your case was decided.
Great.
So that you can maybe start setting people up if you're approved.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
I would move, Mr. Chairman, that the hearing be closed, that the matter be placed on the decision calendar. Each of you who have signed in will receive a copy of the board's decision by mail once it's rendered.
Second?
Thank you very
All in
much.
favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Have a nice day,
Thank you.
folks.
You too.
Thank you.
Next, we have cases 25625 through 25825 North Belmore, John Farella. Variance rear yard, maintain one-story addition and rear deck, both attached to dwelling, maintain shed not permitted in front yard, maintain 6-foot-high PVC fence forward of dwelling which may substantially obstruct line of sight, also known as 2600 South Bismarck Avenue.
Good morning, members of the board. My name is Dean Katsubis. My address is 121 Newbridge Road, Hicksville, New York, 11801.
My name is John Perella, 197 Richmond Avenue, Amityville, New York.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning, members of the board. I'm here today. We're asking for variances to legalize an existing rear addition, a deck, a pergola, a shed, and a fence. The variances we are requesting are as follows. Okay. The pergola's on the deck, and actually the pergola itself does not need a variance, so I should omit that from the, yeah. It's on the deck, that's the reason why I pointed it out, but the pergola itself does meet the setbacks and the height requirements. It's attached to a deck. I don't know,
It's actually not attached.
that clarification, and I'm glad everything worked out there. So we're asking for a rear setback of 8 foot on the rear addition instead of the required 15 feet, and 5.6 feet on the deck instead of the required 15 feet. The fence, the variance we're asking, but the 8 foot, 5.6 is the deck and 8 feet to the house. That's measured diagonally to the rear property line. 5.6 to the deck, and it is relatively the deck is relatively on the ground. It's slightly higher than the 8 inches. That's why it doesn't need a permit. So it's like 9 or 10. Yes, so it's relatively close to the ground. That's why it does need a permit in this case. We're also asking for a fence, which is forward of the dwelling, and a shed, which is not permitted in the front yard. I'd like to point out that this is a rather unique situation, as the property is pie-shaped and it's also on a bend. Though not considered a corner house, it's very similar and has similarities to a corner house in which a fence and a shed would have been allowed in this arrangement. The fence encloses a rear yard and provides screening for the shed. Also similar to a corner house, the setbacks on the additions could have been considered side yards instead of rear yards, and they would have complied with the side yard setback if that was considered a side yard. But it's not. This house, or just the way the placement of the house, it's not considered a corner house, but it's very similar because South Bismarck is on a bend like that, and there is a small portion of the property line which bends along South Bismarck.
Mr. Katsoulis, so in looking at the radius map,
Yeah.
I see Bismarck, but it doesn't look like you can drive through. Oh, okay, you can, okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, so it's a unique property. It's a pie-shaped lot on a bend. There's no neighbors across the street. It's a Southern State Parkway. The only neighbor which is closely affected is the neighbor that's directly to the rear, and they're just to point to further to point out that these structures, the one-story addition and the deck, that's where his garage is on that side. So it's like, so it doesn't even, he can't even see it from his house, because we're looking at, opposite the fence is the neighbor's garage. So it's
Where is his driveway? Is it,
his driveway is along that fence there.
okay, I see.
But I do want to point out that the fence is set back from South Bismarck almost 20 feet in that direction. So it does not
It's not a clear sight
affect
triangle
any
issue.
clear sight triangle or line of sight. This fence is also set back 27.5 from South Bismarck on the front side. So it's,
Where are the De Bernardo's driveway?
De Bernardo's driveway is parallel with that fence.
Except the fence is set back there.
It's set back 19, to the closest point, it's 19.9 feet.
That's that little piece of the fence that
That
goes
little
like,
piece just very close to the shed. So they have plenty of room backing out or pulling in. They have plenty of room to see around the fence. So the fence does not create any line of sight or visibility issues there.
is it, I'm sorry, it's 6 feet and it's solid, right?
It's 6 feet white PVC fence.
Yeah, I've seen
To
it.
my understanding, there's no objections from any of the neighbors. I'd also like to point out that these structures have existed for many years. The deck dates back to 1988, and the addition back to 2004. They've been up for many years. We're looking to legalize them and close the permits.
Any other questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
Move that the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. Mr. Katsoulis, you and your client will both receive a copy of the board's decision by mail once it's rendered. Thank you, have a nice day.
Thank you very much.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Next, we have case 259 through 26025, Wantaw, Joseph and Shana D'Angelo. Variance, side yards aggregate, convert partial garage conversion to living space, special exception to maintain second accessory structure, pergola, also known as 37 Downhill Lane.
Good.
Yeah, Kurt Jacobs, architect, 201 Northwest Drive, Farmingdale, New York.
3 pergolas at 10:05 in the day.
Wow. I have some photos for the board here.
You took the photos, Mr. Jacobs? When did you take them?
No, I didn't.
Who did?
Kevin Daly from Certified Drafting.
Have you been to the location?
Yes,
So can you tell us if those fairly and accurately represent what they purport to represent?
except for the snow on the ground, yes. Good morning, Mr. Chairman.
Morning.
Members of the board. Joseph and Shana D'Angelo has
Mr.
asked me.
Jacobs, can you bend the thing closer to you? It's hard to hear you.
Shana and Joseph D'Angelo has asked me to appear before you for their variance requests. We are seeking zoning relief for a second accessory structure, a pergola that is 9 foot by 10 foot 8 by approximately 8 foot high. This is a store-bought kit that is metal with a fabric retractable ceiling or roof cover. Also, they are proposing to further convert the existing garage to relocate the front entry with a foyer and portico and the mechanical and laundry room in the rear. In 1963, the garage, the carport was converted into a garage and extended. I have a picture, I have the drawing, copy of the drawing from the 1963 permit. And then,
We'll take those in evidence.
so, the permit was issued, as I said, to extend and enclose the existing carport to a garage. This extension created the existing side yard of 5.3 feet as it exists now for the proposed garage conversion. So this side yard has been in existence for 62 years. And with the proposal to convert the garage, it will not be
change.
further encroached into. So the side yard aggregate is 13.3 feet with 15 foot required. The D'Angelos have owned the house for 6 years and they have had no problems with the neighbors. Thank you.
Any questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
Move that the hearing be closed, that the matter be placed on the decision calendar. Mr. Jacobs, you'll be notified by mail of the board's decision once it's rendered.
Second.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any
I
opposed?
have this drawing to hand in.
We already took it in evidence.
Next, we have
Put it in the
cases
file.
261 of 25 through 262 of 25 Hewlett, Neil Bendayan. Variances, lot area occupied, front yard setback on Thomas Street, maintain front porch enclosure attached to dwelling. Variances, lot area occupied, front yard setbacks on Thomas Street and Keystone Place, construct addition, roof over open porch and wood deck, all attached to dwelling, also known as 1185 Thomas Street.
Neil Bendayan, 1185 Thomas Street, Hewlett, New York. Neil
Could you
Bendayan,
please speak up?
1185 Thomas Street, Hewlett.
Abraham, 3663 Fiddler Lane, Bethpage, New York, 117.
We can't hear you. Did you get it? You want to redo it? Can you guys repeat your names and addresses loudly and clearly?
Neil Bendayan, 1185 Thomas Street.
Salim Abraham, 3663 Fiddler Lane, Bethpage, New York. So good morning.
Morning.
I would like to give a small direction of about the lot that we are in right now.
I'm having trouble hearing.
Yeah.
It's much harder with the papers and everything than it would seem.
Okay. I would like to start describing the lot that we are discussing right now. Is an undersized lot. The requirement for Zone B is 6,000 square feet, and this lot has 4,600.
Rather than 6,000 square feet, what do you have?
Correct. And we have 4,976, and the required minimum width is 55 feet, and we have 43.78 feet. It's a corner lot. It's irregular shape also. So you have two front yard, one rear yard, and one side yard. The house was built in 1923, and we have an age letter stating that's fact.
1923?
Correct, yes. At that time, there was no CO in regard to the lot.
You mean you have a non-conforming letter?
Correct.
Do you want to hand, do we have a copy?
So the building's age, I have a copy here.
You want to hand that in? We'll accept it.
So we got the letter from the age letter.
Got it?
So 1938, minus 15 years is 1923.
You still have the detached garage, right?
Correct, yeah, that's together with that letter.
Right.
And of these items that are listed here, is that what you're in the process of doing? Is that
Correct,
what
yes.
you're-
We are filing our permits and maintaining existing structure with no permit, and also proposing fence and a front porch and the rear addition.
Wait, I don't have,
Hold on a sec.
is the fence forward of the dwelling at all on either front yard?
Correct, yes. We filed already for the permit for the fence, for the 6-foot high fence.
Just because there's no fence proposal before us.
Okay.
Do you need relief for the proposed fence?
Yeah, we have an application 234940 on file with the town.
All right, let's just first see
Hold
what
on.
a fence is.
Okay.
Because the building department's rejected a number of things, and many of which you're here for.
Okay, yes.
But there's no
No
fence on my
fence.
calendar. Which
Okay.
may just mean that your proposed fence
Proposing.
is within the ordinance.
Correct.
It doesn't need relief.
So, okay, we just stick to to existing.
No, let's just make sure
Okay.
that your fence is, just let me find where the fence is. Look,
Yeah. Becky's looking it up.
the fence looks to go all along Keystone Place.
Cool.
I mean, unless that's the side yard.
No, that's 2 front yards.
Well, I mean, I know
Yeah.
it's a front yard, but on corner lots, I don't know, about 15 years ago, they decided to redefine them as the primary front yard and
Secondary front
primary
yards.
side yard.
Secondary.
Some
Okay.
stuff I don't agree with, so. Because primary side yard game,
Yeah, primary side, primary side.
even though it has a gate to open for the driveway.
This is a proposed fence?
It is,
Yes.
yes.
It's
And it,
it's a proposed fence, so.
it says proposed fence with gates, and it appears, if the dash dot I'm looking at is correct, one of those I can see, one of the gates is for the driveway.
Correct.
6-foot fence with gates for a driveway.
Yeah, the fence was not reviewed by the plan examiner, so no comments were made yet.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because that fence basically is kind of a non-starter with gates for a driveway.
Okay.
I mean, you can come for it, but we usually don't,
Approve it.
we're not too crazy about fences that you have gates for driveways because by definition, especially 6 feet. If you go to back your car out, you can't see
Solid.
potential, both vehicular, but in addition, you see right there's a sidewalk. Someone's walking down the sidewalk and you back out, you can't see them until it's potentially too late, as you can see by the design. So you're not here for the fence?
No.
Have you filed for the fence?
Yeah, we did, we had it.
Okay, it's just not reviewed yet?
Correct.
Okay.
So unless that's moved, you'll be back here for the fence. But I'm just telling you, to help you out, that that fence there with gates for the driveway is, we consider a significant safety issue. So you might want to reconsider that design.
We comply with the ordinance code.
If I may,
Yes, sir.
if I may, Becky, I know you haven't had a chance to review this thoroughly. Does this fence, is it going to need a variance?
Yes.
Where it's proposed, looking at the plot plan, where it's proposed, it looks like it would require a variance.
Okay.
How can it not be a gates for the driveway?
I realize that, I just wanted it on the record.
I got you.
So you're gonna have to come back for the fence.
Unless you move it somewhere. But we're just trying to help you so you don't have to come in and find this out your next trip.
We will comply to it.
Yeah, you'll
Okay.
come back, but you might want to consider,
All
just so
right.
you know, what we look at is if there's a vehicle, either your driveway or your neighbor's, with a 6-foot fence anywhere. Streets before you run over them and vehicular traffic in many instances. So just keep that in mind when you go forward, okay?
Thank you, I appreciate it. Thank you very
Okay,
much.
let's get back to what's before us.
So we have a covered partial enclosure portion in front of the yard that was done by the owner.
The covered, okay,
Front porch.
The front covered porch.
okay, yes.
Okay.
And now, and the rest is basically a proposed front open portico, a rear deck, and a rear addition to the dwelling
Is
to
the
have more
rear
space.
addition, that portion, oh yeah, it sort of spans that piece.
Correct.
that's
Mhm.
out back. So
Yeah.
That's your rear addition, there's your rear deck,
Yeah, they want to put the laundry room there.
and the garage is darkened out like the other pieces before us, but the garage is not before us, right?
Correct, to maintain the garage, but that was, the application was done before the letter of age, so realized that the garage already was included with the age letter.
You want to go through the percentage of lot area occupied
Correct.
for the house and each of the improvements you're here for,
In the front yard stuff.
rather than those you're not here for?
The average front yard setback that a survey was provided was 11.4, and we are asking 15.2 front yard and the total lot area will be at 36.05%. The maximum is 27.5.
Right?
The increase is as per already the house was over the percentage allowed. So
What,
that
what
addition-
was it? What percentage was it?
So we have here at 28.5.
And that is before any,
Correct, correct.
any of the
Addition,
improvements?
correct.
Okay, now let's go through the improvements.
All right, and we're asking 36.05%.
And 36.05.
Yes.
Okay, what portion of that is occupied by the front porch enclosure?
And the rear deck.
The rear deck and the roofed-over open porch?
I believe 121. So we have 121 square feet for the front.
Well, we could have just said what portion is the addition.
So 2.4% for the front porch, and about 4% for the rear addition of the house.
So that's 6.4% of your proposal.
Correct.
So without those two things,
We will see at 30%.
what without 6 point, what is your proposed overall now, 30?
36.05%.
0.05 or 0.9?
0.5%, 36.05%.
So without those, you're about at 30%.
Correct.
And what's the house at right now?
28.4.
5%.
That addition seems like more than 2% if the front porch is, if the rear deck is, no, the rear deck's not 4%, because it's smaller than the front porch that you gave 2.4.
So 186. So 186 divided by 49.76 times 100.
What we're trying to get at is what percentage of your proposal is open and what percentage of your proposal, the addition, is closed.
Okay, sorry. The open part was correct, but the enclosed area is 3.73%.
So that addition on the rear is 3.7.
73%.
The front porch you put at 4 point something, right?
Yes, correct.
Oh, no, the front porch you put at 2.4.
Correct.
And the rear you put at 4 something.
3%. Correct.
That can't be, that's the smallest piece. That deck is smaller than that front
Not the
porch.
deck. I'm talking about the enclosed area in the back of the house.
I can't hear you.
Sorry, the rear back of the house. The rear addition of the house is 3%.
The rear addition, what
Yeah.
percentage is that?
3.73%.
How is that more percentage than the front porch? If you just look at them, you can see one's bigger than the other, unless it's not to scale.
Okay, 121. Yeah, the front porch is 2.43%, and the
Yes.
rear addition is,
But if you look at that front porch, okay, are we talking about not the old front porch? Let's be clear.
Yes.
So we're talking not about the maintained front porch. We're talking about the proposed covered front
oh,
porch.
sorry, I'm talking about the proposed.
Okay,
The
my bad.
the maintained enclosed part. So is 121.
Okay. John, I sent him this twice and he keeps not getting this. We're communicating. Look, he's writing. I sent him that. He said he didn't get it. So I sent it again. He says, I'm still waiting. I need you to text it to me.
Sorry, 1.06.
What is
The
that?
Yeah, the enclosed part is 1.06%.
Okay, but leaving aside the enclosed part, what we want to know is, let's do it easy.
Okay.
What percentage of that 6, whatever it is you're asking to increase, 8, you're asking to go up 8. What percentage of that is that enclosed addition on the rear, proposed one-story rear addition? Is that 3.7 of that?
No.
I thought you said it was.
So, I was talking about the front porch. So the 3.7 number, that includes the small enclosure in the front and the rear addition.
Okay. If the board were to consider granting these proposals, would your client agree to a condition that both the front porch, the new front porch overhang, and the rear open deck never be enclosed in the future?
Yes.
Okay.
Any other questions from the board? If not, can I have a motion, please?
I would move, Mr. Chairman, that the hearing be closed. Do you have something else?
Yes, I have the letter from the neighbors. I need the letter
Wait,
also.
wait. Oh, there's somebody here who's opposed.
Pardon me?
There's somebody here who's opposed.
Oh, okay.
We have someone who signed in as being opposed. Mr. Cohen?
Okay, John, before I had to send it to you, it's long, I can't rewrite it.
Jason Cohen, 41 Keystone Place, Hewlett, New York, 11557. Good morning, Mr. Chairman and members of the board.
Morning, Mr. Cohen.
Actually, my opposition was specifically about the fence. I live down the block, but I know that's not on the table for today. If that's accurate, I guess I'll come back when those plans are drawn. But I also just wanted to make sure that the fence that we're talking about, it looked like on the blueprint that it was for the entire property, not just the driveway, but I wanted to oppose both.
It does look like it's on here that it's proposed to go around a lot of the property, but as you heard earlier, that's not before us now.
Okay.
And it's not even been fully examined by the building department, which is the group that determines if it meets the code. This wouldn't meet the code, so the building department will reject a permit for it, and then they'll make a decision as to whether or not they want to come here and ask for permission to put it there or somewhere else anyway.
Okay, so at this point, the fence cannot be built
Right.
No.
around the property at any
Correct.
point? Okay,
Absolutely.
There's no existing
Okay.
fence, is there?
No.
Okay,
thank you.
you're welcome. Any other questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
Try again. Move the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. You'll both be notified by mail, and so will you, sir, since you signed in, of the board's decision once it's rendered. Thank you, folks. Have a nice day.
Second,
You're up, safe.
all in favor? Any opposed?
Next, we'll be calling case 26325 Belmore, Chris Wiskowski and Shannon Wiskowski. Special exception to construct accessory structure with cellar higher and larger than permitted, exceeding horizontal maximum on all sides, also known as 411 Clinton Street.
Sir, this lady here has indicated that she has a little trouble hearing. That's why we're letting her sit closer.
Sure.
But we're all going to try to speak up and speak clearly, and if you could do the same, that would be helpful. So speak into the mic loudly and clearly.
Yes, absolutely. Chris Wichkowski, 411 Clinton Street, Belmont, New York. I'm the owner. Oh, relevant, sure, not a problem. Okay. So, yep, right. So, around this time last year, June, we submitted.
Because I just think if you make more disruption, you know, because then she'll be listening to that and that. Well, can we turn up the thing?
Okay, is this a good volume?
Can you hear the gentleman now?
Hello?
Can you hear him now?
Is this a good volume?
Say, can you hear me?
Can you hear me? Okay, okay.
And can you hear us? Can you hear me? Okay, let's give it a shot.
Okay, good morning.
Morning.
We filed the application around this time last June, and the architect, Tom Lazaro, met with Lou Carnival, the plan examiner for the case, in July, and because we wanted to make sure that we were in full adherence to building a garage with the proper setbacks and sizing for the property. So this was a proposed garage, and it was filed under that. In September, we got a denial for a variance based on Lou's definition of the building as an accessory structure, not a garage. So that brings me before you guys. So once we received that rejection from the plan examiner, my wife and I did go around to our radius map neighbors, and I have here letters of non-objection to submit from those neighbors. And then we filed the subsequent paperwork with the BZA to continue this process. So these are those letters. And I'd also like to submit, having talked to my neighbors about possible runoff and water management for the project, which was not submitted under the original proposal, but I do have supplement documents showing the calculations and plan to put additional dry wells to manage the
Runoff.
Garage runoff.
We'll admit all of those into evidence.
I've been here quite a while, and I've never had a proposal to build an accessory structure with a cellar.
So it's a small 1918, carriage house garage, 12 by 16. There is no foundation. I have to excavate and do a foundation anyway. So it's digging 4 feet for a foundation, 3 more feet, and I get found storage. It's unfinished storage in the cellar. The plans do denote a steel floor structure to hold the vehicle's weight. So that was our submission.
You're still going to put a car in that structure?
The plan is, and it is, engineered to do that.
So yes.
Yes.
In short.
And I want to make sure too, on the future use of the property for a new owner, that someone will put a car in there, it's acceptable.
I apologize. Why is it not a garage?
I don't know, and it took us from July to March
Okay.
before we finally got a definition.
The
that-
definition of a private detached garage does not allow for storage of any kind other than a private motor vehicle. Therefore, any storage other than the storage of the car requires a variance before the board.
Okay.
Right, I assumed it was the seller based on Lou's explanation to me, but I couldn't find anywhere a clear definition either.
Apparently, it's more than the cellar, it's any storage.
Any
so-
storage.
Okay.
Which is,
Use? Is it a use?
Do we really want to?
no, it's special exception.
Yeah.
What is this? What are the Coltech, pardon my ignorance, rechargers?
So it's a plastic corrugated dry well, it's a half dome. So it also allows me to install this without using heavy machinery in the backyard. It's a much smaller machine to dig the dry well, and you can supplement the open volume of the corrugated igloo, so to speak, with open gravel. So that gravel can take on an additional 40% of its cubic volume beyond the dry well itself. So you can see on that chart that the roof area and a 4-inch rainstorm would produce somewhere around 1,100 gallons, and this dry well would be in excess of 2,000 gallons.
Why does he need storage? He's got storage.
Let me ask you, just so we can get on the record the numbers. You need a height variance, a size variance, and horizontal maximum on all sides. So why don't we just get those numbers on the record? Obviously, you're allowed 9 for height, 144 square feet for larger, and horizontals, anything in excess of 12 feet. So why don't you give us the numbers of your proposal?
Sure, so as a proposed, under the definition of accessory structure, it does exceed those maximums. It's proposed to be 21 feet wide, 18 feet deep, and 16 foot to the ridge, 8 foot to the rear eave, 12 foot to the front eave. It's a salt box.
Oh, wait, so 2 sides are 21, 2 sides are 18?
Correct.
Okay, so what does that come to for the overall size? Did you do the math?
I didn't, the architect did, and I believe the square footage was 380.
Okay, and you're allowed 144. 16 feet, you said on the height, right?
To the ridge.
The maximum height.
Correct, that would be to the ridge of
Okay.
yeah, proposed.
Okay.
Is that my phone? I could do the math.
I'm ready to hear from the folks.
Yeah, wait. What did he say it was? How many square feet?
He thought it was 380. Oh, it's 18 by 21.
Yeah, it's 378.
378, so
Right.
basically 380.
In order to access the garage, the basement, that's exterior entrance?
No, sir, it's a egress-rated floor hatch inside the structure. I found one that the MTA uses for sidewalk entry, and there will be an egress window in the plan for secondary in emergency.
But inside the garage itself, the floor is going to have a hatch?
A hatch, correct.
Wow. And it's suitable to hold a car?
Absolutely.
Put it in the middle.
Well, if you look at the plan view of the inside of the structure, the hatch is off to the east side, but the main beams and the purlins are under the wheelbase of the entry door.
Are you a builder?
I am.
You said Burlington, I figured.
That concludes your presentation, sir?
Yeah.
Okay, we have a number of people who signed in opposition. We'd like to hear from them. Gary Esposito.
Come to the podium. We'll let you.
Where is he on the radius map?
Speak as loudly as you can so Ms. Conlon can hear.
My name is Gary Esposito.
Who's got a radius map?
I live at 2541 Hick Street, and it's behind the applicant's property. We're separated by a 6-foot fence, and I'm here with my wife and a couple of neighbors, and I have a document I'd like to submit before I start.
What is it?
Photograph?
It's a photo.
You
It's a
took that photo?
It's a photo I took on Sunday
Okay.
with my iPhone and printed it in my house.
Okay, and it fairly and accurately represents what it purports to represent?
It absolutely does.
Okay.
And you won't find that document in his folder either.
We'll accept it in
Okay,
evidence.
so I'd like the board to look at that.
You have that document, sir?
He showed it to me this morning. I don't have this copy. I have other photographs
But
I
you've-
submitted.
You've seen it?
I've seen this one, yeah,
Okay,
I agree.
great. We'll accept it.
Yes.
Okay, sir, you want to tell us?
Yes, why I'm here. So, we've been homeowners in this community since '91, and we love the character and tranquility of our neighborhood. And my neighbors can attest to that are currently with me. I'm retired FDNY battalion chief. My wife is an x-ray tech at Southside Hospital, approaching retirement herself. Over the years, we've invested considerable time and resources maintaining and enhancing our property, creating a peaceful environment where we spend quality time with our children and grandchildren. We're here today to respectfully request the board to deny this application to the town of Hempstead for a variance and special exception to the building zone ordinance, which seeks to build an accessory structure that significantly exceeds permitted dimensions. That photo I sent up there, those dotted lines, that is the outline of the structure that he's trying to build at the back of his property. And that will, and the garage that you see is the current garage that he's going to take down to put that structure up. All right. Here are the reasons why I'm requesting the board to deny this variance. First off is the excessive size and height. On the applicant's special exemption, it states he wants to construct an accessory structure higher and larger than permitted, exceeding horizontal maximums on all sides. I went down to Washington Street and pulled his folder maybe a month ago or so because I didn't get the dimensions until I looked at his folder and seen that it was 21 foot wide. And you can see how accurate that is because the fence is 8 foot wide and 6 foot high. So that's very accurate. It's 18 feet deep and it's 16 feet high. This far exceeds the town of Hempstead zoning regulations. It's a ridiculously large structure, a garage, an accessory structure, or whatever we want to call it.
Hold on one second. How tall is your existing garage?
The existing one is, I believe, 12 feet to the ridge, and it's 12 by 16.
Hold on, 12 by 16, 12 by 16, and 16, which is, 12 to the ridge.
12 to the ridge on the existing.
I just want to, Dawn, can you give this to the applicant so that he can respond to the diagram when you're done?
Sure.
Okay, go ahead, sir, I'm
You want
sorry.
me to continue?
Yes, I saw, I'm sorry.
Okay. I mean, to me, when this structure is complete, it's going to be a commercial garage or a building or a house right on top of my property. And not only mine, but other neighbors' properties. So what's the impact on the neighborhood character? All right, this proposed structure scale, it's disproportionate to the surrounding residential properties. Its height alone would rival that of adjacent houses, potentially altering the neighborhood's character and setting a precedent for similar oversized structures in our neighborhood. 3, environmental and safety concerns. The plan includes excavating a 7.5 foot deep cellar beneath the structure, necessitating the removal of over 132 tons of soil, just feet from 2 other properties, one including mine. Raises questions about potential impacts on soil stability and in particular drainage from a roof that size. Now, the applicant has stated that he's going to sink a 2,000-gallon dry well, which I didn't know until this morning, into it. But that's going to be another 30 tons of soil removed from his backyard. It's a small property. He has a small property just like all of us do there. All right? And say he installs this 2,000-gallon dry well that can hold, by my calculations, not accurate, about 8 inches of rain. That would hold?
Yeah, give or take.
About
Yeah, I
8
would
inches
agree.
of rain. So, August of last year, and Long Island, we're used to heavy rainfalls, and nor'easters, hurricanes. August of last year, August 18th and 19th, we had rainfall of 7 to 10 inches in Belmore. What happens to the rest of that water? It's coming in my yard. I know it is. It's going to overflow that dry well he's dropping. And we have water issues already. We really do in that area. And this is just going to add to it. All right, so this is an environmental concern. I have all of that. All right, it could be disastrous for us. Also, another environmental concern, real quick, please. The excavating in and of itself is an environmental concern with the possible disturbance of existent rodent habitats and their nests and burrows, which we've had an issue in the past at this exact location. 4, it's a potential for a non-accessory use. The inclusion of a full steel plan and a window well for emergency exit from the cellar suggests that this structure may be intended for more than just storage, which would deviate from the definition of an accessory structure right off the bat. I'm afraid, my wife, my neighbors, that the applicant, we know he's a contractor, and his business was right in his folder, is based out of his home, 411 Clinton. It's the property in question. The proposed structure size and features suggest it may be intended to support expanding these commercial type activities.
which is incompatible with the residential nature of our neighborhood. I just have a little bit more here, but I'm not an expert in this area by any means, but from the research I've done, this structure clearly does not meet the zoning balance and test in New York State insofar as it relates to the following conditions. Undesirable change. I've already mentioned to the character of the neighborhood and a detriment to nearby properties. How about our home values? I had a realtor over my house to ask the impact, if any, a structure like this would have on my home value. He said, and I quote, "It absolutely would impact the value of your house. I've had buyers not want to buy a house because of the condition of a neighbor's house or something in an adjoining property being an eyesore. A garage of that size right on top of your yard would be considered an eyesore. Is there an alternative means? Absolutely. The applicant can achieve his objectives by constructing a compliant garage that adheres to existing zoning regulations, thereby negating the need for a variance. And whether the requested variance is substantial? Substantial is an understatement. This commercial type accessory structure does not belong in the middle of 6 backyards in our residential neighborhood. In closing, we urge the board to consider the potential ramifications of approving this variance. And I would like to state emphatically that this specific application does not fit within our community and will have an adverse effect on the surrounding properties. I'd like to thank the board, Mr. President, for listening to me and for your attention and consideration in this matter.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Mrs. Esposito, would you like to add anything? Okay, thank you. Ms. Connolly, would you like to stay? Would you like to speak? Okay. She can get up. Okay.
Good morning.
Morning.
My name is Jane Connolly. I've lived in Belmore on Hicks Street for almost 75 years, so I know the area very well. First of all, I want to say that Chris, when he bought his house on Clinton Street, he fixed it up beautifully, so he's a good neighbor. He added an addition that doesn't even look like an addition. It's beautiful. However, this new structure that he wants to build, I do believe will impact the neighbors. First of all, there's a stream that runs underneath the property behind his house, going towards my house. And I really do believe that that will, a building that size will affect flooding.
Can you repeat the information about the stream and where it is and how much of a stream
it runs behind his house. It's underground, runs behind his house, through my next door neighbors, and just to about my property line. Also, a building that size, which would be approximately half the size of this room, would prevent me from seeing the sunsets that I've enjoyed for almost 100 years. And I do think it would affect the property values. But what most bothers me is the threat of flooding, because we've had a problem with flooding the last decade.
Now, just so we're clear, because I looked at the diagram that the gentleman before you provided, sorry. If I understand correctly, the proposal, which is larger, I don't disagree, is approximately, he wants to go from 12 feet high to 4 feet higher to 16. He wants to go from 12 feet to, I believe, 18 feet. That's a 6-foot increase. And on the other one, he wants to go from 16 to 21. So
Right,
it's
it's 21
larger
feet,
5,
yeah.
6, and up 4, which I didn't think was, it didn't look to me quite like the diagram that was presented, that's okay, earlier, but either way, that's what the proposal is, and I just wanted you to tell us about it based on those changes, you know, which is what you're doing, but I just wanted to be clear about it.
I still think the size of the building would affect the hydrostatic flow of the rainwater and any of the groundwater that's underneath by the stream.
Keep going, I'm sorry, we were looking at the photograph.
That's pretty much what I had to say.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Marie Melgart?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Marie Melgar. We just moved there a year ago. I reside at 2547 Hicks Street.
A little slower, please.
Sure. Marie Melgar. Good morning.
Morning.
I reside at 2547 Hicks Street. So we also have a house on Jerusalem Avenue in Merrick, but we decided to move there a year ago because on Jerusalem Avenue, as you know, a lot of traffic. So we moved there because of the residential area. I have 2 kids, a 9-year-old and a 6-year-old. And I believe that this garage is going to be like a commercial garage, and I'm thinking about my kids. We're paying really high taxes for them to be in a residential and for the schools. And I completely agree to what my neighbor Gary is saying. So that's all I have to say. We moved there because of the residential area. We also have another house in Merrick, but right on Jerusalem. But because there's so much traffic there, we decided to buy another house there. We've been there for the past year, and I love it, the tranquility and everything that's there, but I think it's going to change if this is like a commercial garage.
Thank you. I have a question. So you're going to have storage, theoretically, if the board approves this, you're going to have storage in the basement. Why do you need a 16-foot height on the garage? For storage?
No, the 16-foot, it's going to be a vaulted ceiling, timber frame structure, and that was a consequence of doing the 12-foot front wall and keeping the building in proportion. The 12-foot front wall to have the windows that are depicted. High on the front eave, 8 foot on the rear eave as a salt box.
Again, this is basically a rendering of it.
Correct.
And why again why not a plain old hip roof? Or not a hip, just a,
Yeah, gable roof.
yeah, why that?
For the windows on the front of the building was the design
The flat
motivation.
sides, the front.
The flat side to the front has windows above the garage doors. That was the motivation of the design.
Are there any other structures like this that you know of in the neighborhood?
No, not in our immediate vicinity.
Yes.
That I can cite. No, acknowledge it, that I can't cite anything in our immediate vicinity that would resemble this.
Resemble it in size and style?
I see
The
now why
basement is
that's
a
square.
first.
So, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Nothing that you're aware of in the
Correct.
immediate
I'd agree
character?
with that, yes.
So your current, looking from the gentleman who spoke first backyard, he drew a big square, and now I think I'm understanding why. Your current roof is pitched this way, like his view is this.
Correct.
Now, you're changing it to this?
Yes.
With the big flat away from him, but now that's why it's gonna look square to him,
Right, he'd be looking primarily at the rear roof.
which
That's
is
good.
gonna be pitched, and that's why he's also talking about the runoff, because it'll pitch toward his house on the backside.
Right, and there's plans for gutters and underground drainage.
Right.
You still have 2 open building permits? Have they been closed out? We're not aware of it?
Yeah, everything was satisfied before I submitted the appeal, that everything in 2020 was closed.
Oh, so how long have you owned the house?
2011, we moved in, did a renovation 2018, in which we got our non-conforming up to date, and the addition, air conditioning.
Because the radius map has a different name on the house.
Shannon Borger was my wife. She purchased the house before we were married.
Shannon, Borger?
Yeah,
your
that's her
wife.
maiden
I
name,
saw
yeah.
the Shannon
Yep, that's her,
overlap.
the deed's in her name.
Can you address if there is a stream underneath and address that during construction, and if you need to do any remediation or
You
to
know about
address
it?
the stream?
Yeah, I'd be happy to alter the design upon discovery. It's an undiscovered condition. I can say we moved in 2011, and that was Irene, and we were in the house maybe 3 weeks, had 8 inches of water in our basement. I did put an internal sump pump in. It's gone off 3 times since we've moved.
So wait, you agree there's a stream there of sorts?
I don't know, but if it's discovered,
okay.
yes, I'd be happy to address it.
Wait, I still keep missing it. You go, I don't know, and then you say something about discovered.
If there is an underground stream in the backyard,
Right now, you're unaware of it.
right, correct.
Okay.
So if upon discovery, we can address it, or whatever's required to modify the design.
Any other questions from the board? Not, do I have a motion?
I would move, Mr. Chairman, that the hearing be closed, that the matter be placed on the decision calendar. Each of you who have signed in will receive a copy of the board's decision by mail once it's rendered. Thank you all for coming. Thank you, sir.
And by
Have a
the
nice
way,
day.
folks, all the interested parties, on many occasions, members of the board will go out and inspect, and you may find that one or more members of this board will go out and take a look at the neighborhood.
We
Right?
don't go in your houses, but we'll come on some of the yards if it's all right, just to get the view.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wait a minute. Okay. Do I have a motion?
I made
Oh, good. All in favor? Aye. Good. You okay, Steph? All right.
Next, we have case 26425 East Meadow Plaza Regency LLC. Install 1 double-face illuminated pylon sign, overall size 428 square feet, 214 square feet per face, overall height 30 feet, clearance 4 feet 8 inches from grade, also known as 1900 Hempstead Turnpike.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. My name is Greg Kalnitsky, K-A-L-N-I-T-S-K-Y. I'm with Vercelli, Deegan, Tirana, 333 Earl Ovington Boulevard, Uniondale, New York.
Morning.
Good morning. So this is a location of the premises at 1900 Hempstead Turnpike. It's Section 50, Block C, lots 21, 105, and 106. It's in the Business X zone, and the lot size was previously 11.158 acres, and it is nearly doubled in size now to 22.88 acres. So we're presenting a sign intended to service the existing shopping center located at the intersection of Hempstead Turnpike and East Meadow Avenue. It's recently doubled in size by acquiring the adjacent shopping center to the south, which has a Stu Leonard's on it. On February 26, 2025, this board reviewed the revised site plan and granted the variances necessary to effect it under case number 751 of 2024. So we need to figure out a way to appropriately display the tenants that occupy this now expanded shopping center. So we're proposing the removal of 2 existing signs and replacing one of the signs with a shorter sign that has a slightly larger face and a reduced clearance. As you'll hopefully see, we would submit that the sign proposal here is an improvement to the existing sign condition. So the sign's going to be backlit with halo lighting for increased visibility. It'll state the name of the shopping center, the Meadows, and it'll have an area where tenants of the shopping center could advertise their presence. Signs are permitted in the Business X district, subject to the requirements of the building zone ordinance, and we require variances here for 3 reasons. Number 1, the code provides that the face of the sign cannot exceed 32 square feet, and we're proposing a double-sided sign consisting of 214 square feet per face for a total of 428 square feet. Code provides that the overall height must be no more than 15 feet above the ground. We are proposing 30 feet, and the code requires clearance of at least 7 feet from grade, where we're proposing 4 feet 8 inches. So when compared to the existing conditions of signs on the premises, you'll see that while it may seem significant, the ask here is not significant at all, and in fact less impactful than the 2 signs that have been previously approved and renewed by this board under BZA case number 512 of 2016. In addition, it's worth noting that this sign will serve almost 23 acres. The building zone ordinance does not distinguish between property sizes, instead imposing a uniform regulation. So if a shopping center which houses dozens of tenants were to be subdivided and each tenant were to be provided with a sign, we'd submit that granting the variances for one sign here would be much less impactful than a plethora of signs advertising each individual business in the shopping center. So I'd like to go over what the existing condition of the sign is and compare it to what we're proposing, so that hopefully you could see it's less impactful.
1 second, before you do that, can I just ask you, I see you want to set the sign back 21 feet 3 inches, right?
Yeah.
That driveway, oh, it does have an out. I was going to ask you, it looked like it was in only, but I see on the other side, it goes out there too.
Yes, it's right in, right out.
All right, go ahead.
So the existing signs have heights of 32 feet 7 inches and 33 feet 9 inches. We're proposing 30 feet. It's a net reduction of 2 feet 7 inches on one side and 3 feet 9 inches on the other side. The existing signs have a face of 162.5 square feet on each side, combining for a net total of 650 square feet. We're proposing 428 square feet net total, which is a reduction of 222 square feet from the existing conditions.
Oh, so you're turning 2 signs into 1?
We're taking, there's 2 signs there, we're taking 1 sign out completely, and we're just proposing this 1 sign that's in front of the board. The existing signs have clearances of 15 feet 4 inches and 17 feet 9 inches, and the sign that we're proposing is 4 feet 8 inches. So presumably, the 7-foot clearance required by the code was put into place so as not to disrupt vehicular and pedestrian sight lines. But we would submit that the location of the sign perpendicular to the roadway with the appropriate setback and in a landscaped area that's not in the off-street parking area kind of addresses that concern. And the sign would be located to the west of the main entrance of the shopping center, and its location was specifically chosen so that it wouldn't impact vehicles turning in, because you would need to pass the sign and turn into the shopping center, and when you turn out, it poses no obstacle because it's right out.
It's 21 feet 3 inches from what? Because there's a double road there,
21 feet 3 inches setback from the property line, right?
So, yeah, I understand. But as a practical matter, it looks like, is that a sidewalk right there, isn't it?
Yeah.
I couldn't tell if it was a curb or a sidewalk. It's very small. I mean, it doesn't look like it's 23 feet from, let's say, the sidewalk. So I just wanted to get, sometimes the line that is used is technically accurate, but once you're on the property, it's really, looks much shorter compared to where the sidewalk is. So that's what I'm just trying to get at.
That, the distance of the sign from the sidewalk?
Yeah, for example, if I'm turning out, or, yes, I just wanted to get a practical view of how far that sign is actually set back, let's say, from the sidewalk.
Sorry, just bear with me, I'll have to refer to the plans.
Well, if you don't have it, I just.
So, I wish the site plan had greater detail. This was drawn by an engineer, and sometimes when they do these things, for signs, the level of detail that you would normally get in a site plan doesn't go in.
It's very small, so it's hard.
Right. As you can see, there's a landscaped area. We're willing to set it as far back as we can inside that landscaped area. It's the most appropriate place for it. This was reviewed by the building department such that the setback, it's compliant. Like, that's, we tried to.
It's compliant if the sign had 7 foot clearance, but once we're taking away clearance, that's what I'm asking.
Okay. Yeah, look, as I said previously, if you're turning on a right in and you're looking at that sign, turning in, it doesn't affect anything, and it's just a right out on the way out. So as far as the normal concerns, if it were on a smaller property, to have it that low, especially if it's like in an off-street parking area where vehicles are right by an entrance, that could be a problem. But based on the fact that it's perpendicular, you have to pass it to make a right in, so I can't see any obstruction being caused by, the height of the sign. And turning out, it's clearly not an issue because it's only a right out.
Okay.
Is there still a sign on the corner of Hempstead Turnpike at 18 Meadoway?
There's 2 signs on the Hempstead Turnpike portion of the premises currently. So we're removing both, and we're putting one back, basically where one is right now.
So the one that's by the bank is,
That's being removed.
That is part, I'm not signed in.
yeah, you have to
Name
have
and
a sign
address.
that
Name and
says
address.
swear you in and all that good stuff.
There is a sign.
No, you have to be sworn in. We weren't joking. Where's the sign-in sheet?
You know?
Michael Burkowski, 111 Buttercup Lane, Huntington, New York, 11743. So to answer your question, there is a sign there on the corner. I believe it's currently for Garden Social. They have no obligations to that sign, and part of our future development plans for the center is to remove that sign. As of right now, that is not being proposed, but I'd be happy to take it down.
Wait,
So, yeah,
go ahead.
It's a small sign on the corner you're talking about, right?
Yeah, and as one time was illuminated, it was granted by the board, that sign.
Okay, it was.
Yeah.
Still,
If you guys are talking about the same sign.
it's a small sign right on the hard corner, right
Yeah.
set back from where the signalized pole is,
Yes.
basically. As of right now, we don't have a plan to remove it at this time, but the future development of the property, once we come back to the board for any future of the office building area, we do plan to remove that sign.
I just want to read to you a quick comment that we received, and so that you can comment on it. It's from a neighbor, and it simply says they're opposed to the application. Sign is too large and high for corner placement. Totally opposed to it being placed there. You've just said, I was going to ask you, but you seem to indicate that the sign they're referring to, well, actually, let me ask you. You're removing 2 signs. The one this person's opposed to is apparently on a corner. Is the one you want to put back in the place this person is complaining of, or?
No, so there are two signs currently. One is to the west of Burger City. It's in the middle of the parking lot. And the other sign is right on the western side of the main curb cut for the center, which is the
Right.
eastern curb cut.
Right.
We are planning on putting the new pylon in that place.
Right.
Of the eastern curb cut. So it is set back from any residential. It's right
What,
on the
what
main.
corner is this person referring to?
She's, I believe, speaking about the sign.
Yeah, you know, and
Wait, no, she's not speaking about a small sign. She said it's too high. She must be speaking about,
The signs out there currently are higher than what we are proposing.
no, but you guys were just talking about the small sign.
Yes.
Okay, so the large sign in the corner, is that one you're not putting back?
There is no large sign in the corner.
Okay.
you
So
don't know
there-
which corner you're talking about, though.
What?
Is the, you don't know what corner, is it the corner by the bank, the four-story office building? The hard corner, as you called it, East Meadow Avenue, Hempstead Turnpike.
That is the only sign that is there is that small sign.
Okay, wait. No,
So-
my question. Just,
Go
if I
ahead,
may,
go ahead.
This site plan is inaccurate, in my opinion. It doesn't show any signs. I know this, the engineer, maybe it's the release method.
Oh, he's looking at a different site plan. There's this one that's, it says, well, it says, sign goes here.
But there's a sign here, does it show that? And then there's apparently another sign here.
Why does this say, see, I've been dealing with that and that, but what is this? 7'6"?
Could I come up just to show you?
Certainly.
Oh, I see. He's saying it's a 7'6" setback from the driveway.
Looking at visuals. So this is the overview
Oh,
site
wow.
plan,
I
right?
wonder why we didn't use that one.
That was submitted in connection with the previous approval that the variances we needed.
Doesn't show, I've never even seen it.
This?
So, this is the site plan that was just presented to the board a couple months ago, right?
Why do we have this?
That is,
This is what we're working on.
Right.
that is existing on East Meadow Plaza.
Because it says 21.3 setback this way. I assume this 7'6" setback means how far it's off the driveway? I don't even know.
So that's existing, yeah. So that is the setback
No,
on,
this said sign goes here.
it's going in the exact same
Sign goes
place of
right
the
here.
existing sign.
Right, so 21, that's okay, listen, so 21.3 setback this way. What is 7'6" setback?
From off
what
the
I'm asking.
driveway.
Is it off this?
Off the driveway, yes.
That's what I thought.
There's no sidewalk right here. This is landscape area.
Right. So let's go back to what is this woman, person, male, female, speaking about? Sign is too large and high for corner placement. Totally. Does she think you're taking this little one and putting the big one there?
How would they know what she's thinking?
I don't know what,
She seems to know.
no, that's the only sign that
That's
is
what
on
you
the
were saying
corner.
earlier.
This application is about removing the sign which is right here, and there's a sign that is right here.
It's this sign.
This is the sign that we are replacing with
Right.
this new proposed sign. This sign we are planning on getting rid of completely. The comment from the lady, it's confusing, it's very general. But
This is back far enough. Yeah.
this application was,
I hate that road. It's just like, you know, everyone
The issue with the low clearance though is, the only other way to accommodate it is to go up higher. And given the location, we figure it's the lesser of two evils. We're of course happy to go up higher, if the board would rather that.
could write smaller.
storage.
I have no idea. 5 floors, so imagine,
8 plus 1.5, 33.
So unless the board has any questions, that was going to be our presentation.
Any other questions? Just parenthetical note, I've never seen 25 open building permits, but dating back quite some time.
You planning to close all the open houses?
I have spent hours in the building department trying to find old plans when we purchased this property. And yes, I noticed that there are a ton of permits. I'd be happy to begin to work to close out. A lot of them are signed permits.
I do have a question, a couple. So
Too
it's
much time on the computer.
it's going to be lit on the interior, I take it?
Yeah, halo lighting.
And then, are any of your, I take it none of your tenants are 24-hour?
No, right?
Are you planning to have it turned off when all the businesses are closed, or?
It'll be on a timer.
In the board's previous approval, there was conditions about the timing that are acceptable to you.
What was the?
I think it was till the other decision.
10 o'clock.
Well, obviously, it shouldn't open when the businesses
Yes.
are on, when the businesses are open, but it seems maybe it makes sense to turn it off when there's not a single business open.
Yeah, as long as there's ample site lighting that we're proposing on the site.
Oh, I see.
To keep everything lit, because you don't want any dark areas on the site in the middle of night. So,
All right, but there's no lighting, it's not very much near residential, so we really don't have to worry about lights. Sometimes we get people screaming about lights, reflecting into their home.
That concludes your presentation.
Yes.
Okay, any other questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
Move the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. You'll both receive a copy of the board's decision by mail once it's rendered.
Second.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
That's an okay.
Next case. Do you want to take a break? 10-minute break.
Sorry, guys, but the hands can't work anymore. She needs blood flow back.
I have.
Next, we have case 26525 through 26725, Seaford, James V. Esposito and Nancy J. Ianni Esposito. Variances, lot area, front width from and on street line to front setback line, front yard average setback, lot area occupied, side yards aggregate, construct dwelling with garage, demolish existing dwelling. Variance, lot area, convert one family dwelling to two family dwelling. Variance, lot area occupied, construct pergola with barbecue and counter higher than permitted, also known as 3668 Naomi Street.
Dominic Minerva and D'Agostino, 107 South Central Avenue, Valley Stream, New York, attorney for the applicant.
James Joyce, I'm the architect for the applicant, 162 West Park Avenue, Long Beach, New York.
He came late, he probably did not sign in. Yes, that was an objector. Unrelated. Okay, the application before you today is for variances to permit the construction of a new dwelling on the subject premises. Subject premises is located at 3668 Naomi Street in Seaford. It's known as Section 63, Block 62, tax lots 10 and 11 on the Nassau County Land and Tax Map. It's located in a residency zone. Subject parcel is located on the south side of Naomi Street, 750 feet east of Ocean Avenue. There are three separate applications which, although being heard together, we request that they be considered separately. The first application is to demolish the existing dwelling built around 1910 according to the Nassau County assessment records, which was recently demolished with a demolition permit. On the existing...
Wait, I'm sorry. There's no demolition before us.
No.
Okay.
It was already
The way
done.
you said it,
I'm just
I
yeah. So there was, I'm telling you, there was a house there. They pulled a demolition permit. It was demolished, and they're proposing to construct a new dwelling in its place. On the existing 5,100 square foot parcel of land with 60 feet of front width, and construct a new single-family dwelling in its place is the first case. This application...
Wait a minute.
Yeah, go ahead. We're on the same.
Yeah. You just said construct a one-family dwelling?
So there's three applications. The first
Well,
one
one is to construct the
is for-
structure on the
construct
lower
a
lot.
one-family. The second one is to convert it to a two-family, and the third one is for a pergola.
Is that why you want them separate, in case we denied one thing? You want them,
We want, yes, correct.
is that,
We're
we
going-
usually don't get that request,
Yeah.
I'm sure you know, Dominic.
Our request is that they be considered separate.
Separate.
This application for the single-family dwelling requires lot area occupied with 49.3% proposed and 35% required, which is made up of 39.7% for the house, 7.7% for the raised deck. Since it's a FEMA-compliant house, the deck would be off the main living area, which would be above the garage level, and 1.9% for the pergola. And a front yard setback to the bay window, which encroaches only 1 foot into the front yard setback, which is a very minor variation from the front yard requirement. The denial letter also indicates that variances are required for street frontage, lot area, side yard, and side yard aggregate to construct the one-family
The
dwelling.
structure.
But our position is that none of those variances are in fact required, and I'm just going to take you through the code and our arguments on that.
How big is the lot? Just tell us that.
5,100 square feet.
Okay. That seems like a loser right out of the box, but I'm sure you have an argument, right?
Okay. So on the, let's go over them, on the front width, from and on street line to front setback line. As per the BZA plot plan, we have 60 feet frontage at the front width and at the front setback line, whereas 50 feet is the minimum. So we believe we're in compliance with that requirement.
Wait, I'm sorry. If you have 60.
Right.
And you
You
were
only need
denied
50.
by the building department, what was the rationale given? Because there must be one.
I just think it was an oversight or an error.
You think they accidentally
Put that
thought-
denial on, correct?
Okay.
'Cause-
Hold on, can we have some interjection here?
Sure.
The original house, prior to you demolishing it, did it have a certificate of occupancy?
Well, it was built in 1910, so I would say it was prior to the, prior to
Zoning.
zoning, so no,
Did you
it probably
submit
did
to the
not.
building department a single and separate search indicating that the property was single and separate?
We did not, but we did submit it to this board, and that search is on record, and it does indicate it's single and separate prior to 1957.
Since the certificate of occupancy was not obtained prior to the demolition of the building, the requirement for lot area would stand, but the requirement for the front width was an oversight by the plan examiner and should not have been denied for that.
So she just made a mistake. It should have been denied for front width. And
It should not have been denied for front width. It should have been denied for lot area, less than 6,000 square feet in a C-zone,
Okay, and why again should not have?
because the property never received a certificate of occupancy substantiating the fact that it was undersized and non-conforming.
Regardless of that, the fact that it's still 60 feet frontage on a street and 60 feet at the...
The 60-foot was an oversight by the plan examiner and
Yes.
should not have been denied.
Oh, she thought it was less
He,
than.
yeah, he,
He thought it was less than.
he didn't, it was probably an automatic copy and paste when he was doing his denial, because lot area, lot width, when you're doing a subdivision, usually we put them together.
So it's your opinion, looking at those materials, that he's probably correct. They
With
don't-
the front width
Okay.
only.
And that's, but my point is, you went into a whole history. That's irrelevant because it exists today at 60 feet, correct?
Right, so when we analyze it.
No. The property never received a certificate of occupancy, okay? A 60-foot front width lot is in compliance
Compliant.
with the BZA.
Correct.
So
That's what I
therefore,
said.
that denial is not necessary.
Right,
The
so
lot
today-
area,
Yes.
less than 6,000 square feet
That
is.
is.
Right, so you're correct. There was a mistake made. It's 60 feet wide and that's compliant.
Correct.
Okay, so do we want to dismiss this
Yes.
portion of the request?
Yes,
Or do you want to
Strike.
withdraw it?
withdraw it.
Withdraw, whatever. Okay.
On the lot area, I'm just going to mention one other argument before we put that to rest. On 96A, it says, "The minimum lot or plot width and area and frontage regulations herein set forth shall not apply to any lot or plot having an area and/or width and/or frontage of less than that prescribed herein, provided that such lot or plot has an area of at least 4,000 square feet and was under different ownership from that of any adjoining land on October 25th, 1957, and provided further that such lot or plot and any adjoining land did not come into common ownership since that date." So,
So tell us your
Single and
argument.
separate.
so our argument is that we do not need a lot area variance. Even though the old house didn't have a CO, we do not need a lot area variance to build a new house on this
But
lot.
you need it anyway because if pursuant your request to 1 to 2, because you'll need 12 then.
Yes, I would need the lot area variance for the two-family.
Right, that's why you
Right.
want it all separate.
Right. But my position is we do not need
So
it for the
are
one-family.
you sufficiently convinced of your position that you want to dismiss the lot area request, or would you like to keep it here?
We'll keep it.
Thank you.
I'll note my argument for the record.
Okay, good enough.
Okay? And then side yard and side yard aggregate. So you need, on the residency zoning district, not section 91A, A3 for a dwelling on a lot with a width at the front setback line of at least 60 feet, but no less than 80 feet, the required minimum aggregate side yard width shall not be less than 25% of the width of the lot at the front setback line.
Wait, at
And
least 60, but not less than 80.
Yeah,
60 is
how
less
does
than
that-
80.
At least 60, but less than 80. So
Okay.
Less-
between
You said
60
not
and
less
80.
than
Not,
80.
right,
Apologize.
Got it.
okay.
So then it's 25%. So 25% of 60 is 15.
feet.
And neither individual side yard can be a width less than 50% of the other opposite yards. So we have 10 and 5 proposed, it's 15. So we believe we're compliant in that, and permitted encroachments. we
Wait,
do-
you want to dismiss those things?
Yes, we'll dismiss the
Side yard.
side yard and
Okay.
side yard aggregate requests.
So you're only going to stick with lot area
So I'm only going to ask for lot area, front yard setback,
to
and lot area
construct the dwelling.
occupied.
Wait, say that again. Lot area and what else?
Lot area occupied.
Right, those two is all you're asking for to construct the dwelling.
And front yard setback for that 1 foot to the bay window.
Okay, so wait, Becky, do you want to take a look and make sure that he should forego those requests before we actually dismiss them?
Grant
Don't you
that.
think, Mr. Minerva?
Yes, I'm
Let's get a
certainly
second
open to
opinion.
that. Absolutely.
Side yard minimum and side yard aggregate are not necessary.
Okay,
Okay.
so we've got three things we're throwing out. All right.
Okay, the second application is for a pergola with a barbecue island underneath it to be constructed in the rear yard. This requires a lot area occupied variance and accessory structure higher than permitted, with 10 feet proposed and 9 feet permitted.
What percentage of lot area does that comprise, since we're kind of going about this differently?
1.9%.
Okay. And then you have your conversion request.
Yes.
Before you get to that, it says on your plan, non-walkout bay window.
Right.
Where do you see that? Oh, on the plan, I'm like,
Yeah, a non-walkout is a,
It says non-walkout?
mine does.
Non-walkout bay window
That does
overhang.
not require,
I've never seen a walkout bay window.
The plan shows that, does not show that it is a non-walkout bay window.
so there's a conflict in our,
Correct.
so if it is a non-walkout bay window, it does not need a front yard setback.
Correct.
It's a permitted encroachment?
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Minerva? Mr. George, did you
He
hear
doesn't
what
have a request
Becky
here for
just said? You stated that it needs a front yard
Correct.
setback because of the bay window.
Correct.
Your
doesn't.
plot plan shows a non-walkout bay window.
Is that what it is?
If
I'm
it
going to
is,
defer that question to the architect.
that's
I
what,
do,
if
No,
it
let's
is,
figure that out first.
yeah, I do have a note on another plot
I don't
plan
know
that
whether it
says walkout bay, so I think there was an overlap on,
I'm sorry, say that again?
on the drawing, the set of
Speak
drawings.
into the microphone,
Oh.
please.
On the set of drawings for the proposed two-family, that's where I see, I have a note that says walkout bay, window overhang.
Okay, so then
it's-
you do need the variance.
Yeah, one is non and one is with. No, we don't want the walkout, so we'll just do the non-walkout,
Well, hold on, you're going to have to adjust the plan.
just because it's written two different ways on two different applications.
Who's
All
the
right, so where
architect
is
on
it
this?
written wrong? Wait, Joe, is it written wrong on that too?
No, it's written wrong on the plans.
Okay, so the architect needs to change that on the plans and
initial
initial
it.
Are you the architect who drew the plan?
Yes,
Change that, and then, so you, as a non-walkout, you don't need the front yard setback either, right, Mr. Minerva?
That's
Correct.
right, that would eliminate the front yard setback. So for the house itself, we just need lot
Yeah.
area occupied only and
Merrick.
potentially lot area. I have my argument on the record, but
Yep.
those are the
Yeah,
the
you're gonna
requests
need,
then.
are you gonna need lot area, you're gonna need lot area for the
Need.
12, right? And
Yeah.
lot area occupied? No, not
Yeah, well, that
occupied.
would be the same. There's no increase in the lot area occupied for the two-family request.
Okay, so we're getting rid of front width, front yard average, side yard and side yard aggregate.
Yeah.
Oh, here. You need 265? 265, yeah. Thank you. Sorry about that. No problem. James Joyce. This guy.
Mm-hmm. Ryder.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Didn't your mom want you to be an author instead of an architect?
I tried, it didn't work out. This says non-walkout, and it says non-walkout there.
Where's the confusion?
Yes, it is.
What is
One of the plans.
No, I asked Joe, he said it doesn't say it on the plan.
It does.
I just asked you that.
Well,
No, it says non-walkout.
yeah, it says
No,
no.
we need to find what says walkout.
Oh, I'm sorry. Got confused again.
Okay, so it appears all the plans on file with the Board of Appeals says non-walkout. So it may have
What
been an
about the
older,
two-family
older
addition?
submission to the building
Wait.
Yeah, the
department.
two-family one might say it.
Maybe it's the two-family one that says. This is 252. No, what do those even go to? That's Mark Anthony. It doesn't even go in this case.
That's what we've said. This is all, that's 252.
Oh, this goes with that.
That
too.
goes with that.
Right, so, wait, do we know where it's incorrectly noted? Okay, so did those get to us? Here's another set.
Because it's a new
Yeah.
completion system.
Check 'em. You know where it is. You've already been doing it.
Okay, so, yeah. The plans denied for the one-family dwelling say, with the denial stamp, say non-walkout, but it looks like the two-family plan says walkout. So
Well, we
that's,
just looked at the two-family one here and it does.
says-
Well, you're the architect. Did you draw any plan that said?
Walk out.
Delta, what's that? Remember my good blue one? Blue chiffon? I know. Hey, you and Becky have matching outfits.
I just noticed that. I go, it's the black and white top
Black
down.
and black and white.
I know.
She's a zebra and you're a Greek king. Okay, so, Mr. Joyce, was there a time when you drafted a set of plans that said walkout?
Walk out.
Yes,
And when was that?
at some point during the design process.
Very good answer.
Do we have any idea where such plans are?
we believe it's in the portal.
Okay.
For the two-family, because I pulled two sets. I pulled one set for myself from the portal that has the denial from the one family, and that says non-walkout everywhere. And the set I pulled from the portal for the two-family is the one that says walkout.
Well, why doesn't our set
Can
for
we
the
just,
two-
can we just move on and stipulate that there'll be no walkout?
Yes.
But I
Period.
want the papers to be accurate,
Well,
though.
if he should get lucky and it's granted, we will say as a condition, there shall be no walkout bay window.
Right, but that
That's
doesn't mean we don't look at it.
Oh, no, Christina
just-
will draft it that way. It's,
No, but I mean, we have to do the decision instead of just.
they won't approve it unless it shows a non-walkout.
Okay.
Right.
But I just have one last question. These are the two-family plans, right, Christina? Yes, and those also do not show it as a walkout.
Correct.
So
They say non-walkout.
somewhere you changed it.
Correct.
Let's move on.
It's a mystery.
Please.
And I apologize for the confusion, but I guess there were multiple sets and resubmissions to get to the denial.
It's all right, if you keep going the way you are, you won't need any variances.
Okay, so, with regard to the pergola, it's also located in the rear yard behind the dwelling along the canal, so we believe it will not have a impact. The third application is for a lot area for permission to construct the proposed dwelling as a two-family dwelling rather than a one-family dwelling, requiring 12,000 square feet of lot area with 5,100 square feet proposed. It's the applicant's position that the proposal is in keeping with the character of the area. Prior precedent from this board will not be detrimental to surrounding property owners, and the variance is of minor in nature when compared to the surrounding area and the prior precedent. So I'm going to take the board through the radius map. On the subject block, Naomi Street. On the south side, our side, directly to the west, tax lots 12 through 14. Under case number 564 of 18, they got a variance for senior residence, accessory apartment larger than 800 square feet. So there's essentially 2 units in that house, one being a senior residence, but with the variance to exceed the normal size.
How many square feet is that lot?
That lot is 90 by 85. I'll tell you in 1 second.
7,000.
7650.
Okay.
7,650 square feet.
Okay.
7,650 square feet. Okay, to the east of the subject, two parcels to the east, tax lot 38. They got a variance under case number 1170 of 2018 for a lot area occupied of 60.4%. On the north side,
That is a one-family?
that's one family.
Okay.
I believe they also have a senior residence, but that was an as-of-right senior residence, not any variance.
Okay.
On the north side, to the east end of the block, tax lots 43 through 47 was approved for subdivision, lot area, maintain existing dwelling on a lesser lot, and construct a new dwelling on a lot of 5,100 square feet and a second lot of 4,715 square feet under case numbers 554 of 23 and 555 of 23. I do have a list of all this I'm going to submit as well. And going westerly on the north side of Naomi, tax lots 30 and 31 got a variance for lot area occupied of 50% under case number 486 of 11, and previously had received a variance for lot area and lot width under case number 1029 of 86.
Is that a single-family dwelling?
That's a single-family home. Next to it, tax lots 20 and 29, case number 893 of 2012, got a lot area occupied variance of 36.3%. And then just to the west of that, tax lots 24 to 27, adjacent to tax lots 28 and 29, which is just off your radius map, they received a variance for a subdivision to construct 2 single-family dwellings on 3,400 square feet each. And that's under case 3,400 square feet of lot area. 2 homes, each on that square footage, under case numbers 1050 and 1051 of 2017. To the north, on Somerset Drive, variance was granted for a front yard and rear yard setbacks to construct a home on lots 1 through 4, under case 58 of 2024. And going south on Nimrod Street on the map, on tax lots 60 and 61, case 488 of 2016, lot area occupied variance of 40.1%. Tax lots 62 through 64 on Nimrod Street, they got a variance to extend or additions to the dwellings under case 412 of 2018. That's 1 lot with 2 houses, no variance, that was a prior non-conforming. Tax lot 78, just to the east.
Wait, I didn't understand the significance of the 62 through 64. The case from
I'm just mentioning that there are 2 dwellings on 1 lot. And then there was a variance to make them larger that was granted, to make both houses larger. On tax lot 78, lot area variance and width, this was a subdivision, 4,000 square feet for lot 78, 5,000 square feet for Lot 79, and that was cases 58 of 2002 and 59 of 2002. And the last, that covers the radius map, subject block, Naomi Street. Actually, only 1 out of the 17 homes are fully conforming to the zoning code. And on the map, 10 out of 31 are conforming to the zoning code, about 33%. So it's a highly non-conforming area. And last, just for the board's information, although it's off the map, Naomi Street's bordered by 3 waterways at the street intersection with Ocean Avenue at the top of the block. They were legal, but there were 15 two-family dwellings constructed that are now existing at the top of the block. Okay, I'm going to submit a couple exhibits. This is a petition signed by several of the neighbors in the immediate area with a marked-up radius map of who consented. I do have copies of the 2 variances that were adjacent to our property. One was just adjacent, one was 1 parcel over. And copies of the variances I mentioned for the surrounding area, and then specifically the ones just with the lot area occupied.
We'll accept those.
Those are maybe like 8 of each, I don't know if you need them or not. I would also note that the client, the applicant, would consent to a condition if the board was inclined to grant the 2-family application that one of the 2 units would need to be owner-occupied and not both rented. And based upon the evidence submitted, we respectfully request your favorable consideration and remain available for any additional questions. I did.
I'm still not getting the rationale for it being a 2-family. I mean, I understand what you've said, but
Yeah, well, it's a residency zone, so it's permitted. There are,
I know, but
there were a lot of 2-families constructed on legal lots. We had the one subdivision that was just off the radius map where it was 2 houses on 3,400 square feet lot, so it's 6,800 with 2 single-family dwellings. We're proposing a 2-family on one 5,100 square
wait,
feet.
2 houses, each on a 3,400 square foot.
Right.
Thanks a lot.
So in terms of density, we don't believe the proposal for the 2-family is out of character for the density, because you have a lot of homes on lots that are smaller than the 5,100 square feet.
What's
That-
the
that's our
business, if you know, that's at the end of Algonquin Street and at the end of Naomi Street by the river? Do we know what the business is?
So, across the street was zone business too. That's the one that got subdivided into 2 houses. I'm gonna assume that's a marina, but let me see if my client knows.
Can't hear him.
Boatyard.
And then you said something about one of the business having 2 houses. Is that the one that's 46 and 47?
Yes, that got a
So-
variance to construct a new house and maintain the existing house on a lesser lot under case numbers 554 of 23 and 555 of 23.
23?
Yeah,
So they got maintained lesser with a lesser, and they got a new house.
yeah, 5,100 square feet and 4,715 square feet.
Well, that sure is a good case for you.
Yeah, in terms of the one family, our 5,100 square foot lot, if it was determined that we did need the lot size variance, we're bigger than a lot of the other lots where, you know, they have homes on, like I said, 3,400 square feet and a lot of others that are less than the 51.
You're 60 by 85, right?
Yep, 60 by 85.
Does the house have a garage, interior garage?
Yeah, underneath. The proposed dwelling has, I believe has a garage underneath. You want to answer that?
Yes, it has an open space under the house with 2 parking spaces, and then also a 2-car garage. So you can fit basically 4 cars.
Is it under the house, or is it?
It's a FEMA compliant house, so you have a foundation level, and it's in the foundation level under the main living area.
Yeah, at grade.
So it's, that's just Architect indicated 2 cars in the garage side by side and a double driveway side by side.
Is it proposed, I'm just looking at mine, one family on each side or up and down?
It's kind of mixed.
Yeah,
So-
like they're both
I would think you
duplexes.
want each family to have a top so they might have a view.
They do, yes. It's side by side, but not even split. One unit is larger than the other, as proposed.
The new open parking, is that like a carport? Is that what it is?
No,
Correct.
it's actually, yeah.
Yeah, yes, that's like a carport.
You showing the garage door? Say that again? But 2 cars can park in the garage. Just want to clarify, 2 cars can park in the garage. There is a garage door.
Right, I see
Yeah,
that.
okay.
And then there's the carport for 2.
Correct.
How many bedrooms each unit? I know they're slightly different, right?
Yes, the main house has 3 bedrooms, and the smaller apartment area has 2 bedrooms.
One on the second, one on the third.
Exactly, they're both like duplexes.
No, I didn't see any.
You're getting good at this.
Is your building permit for the demo closed yet?
No. Well, on the search sheet that we filed with the BZA, they actually closed out the plumbing permit for the disconnects, but the search sheet I have shows that the demo of the house is still open.
Yeah,
Let me see the date on that. That's,
That's an old search sheet, November 24.
okay.
It is my suggestion that you submit a single and separate search to your demolition permit prior to closing it out.
Thank you.
Why would that be open, just for my edification?
Would make it easier for the building department to rectify their records if the board decides to dismiss the lot area variance for the one-family dwelling.
We're not dismissing the lot area for the one family.
If.
Lot area and lot area occupied for the single family we're keeping, that's all we're keeping for those.
We're keeping that, but I did keep my argument on the record that my belief is that, I'm not withdrawing it, but my belief is that it's not necessary.
It probably would be a lot cleaner for the records anyway, and then what Becky says even helps.
Yeah, we'll certainly upload that to the open app for the demo application to the portal.
Any other questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
I would move that the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. Mr. Minerva, you, Mr. Joyce, and your client will all receive a copy of the board's decision by mail once it's rendered. Thank you, folks.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Thank
He volunteered that. He said his client would, but wait a minute.
Next, we have cases 26825 through 27125 Oceanside, 3600 Long Beach Road LLC. Install refurbished multi-tenant detached illuminated double-faced pylon sign, 131 square feet per face, totaling 262 square feet, 20 feet 8 1/8 inch high, and setback 4 feet from property line on Daly Boulevard. Install refurbished second multi-tenant detached illuminated double-faced pylon sign, 126 square feet per face, totaling 252 square feet, 23 feet 6 inches high, 10 foot 5 inch clearance from grade to bottom of sign, and setback 10 feet from property line on Long Beach Road. Installed refurbished third multi-tenant detached illuminated double-faced pylon sign, 126 square feet per face, totaling 252 square feet, 19 feet, 3/8 of an inch high, 6 foot 3-inch clearance from ground to bottom of sign, and setback 10 feet from property line on Long Beach Road. Install refurbished fourth multi-tenant detached illuminated double-phase pylon sign, 181 square feet per phase, totaling 362 square feet, 23 feet 5 1/8 inch high, 5 foot 11-inch clearance from grade to bottom of sign, and setback 22 feet from property line on Long Beach Road. Also known as 3600 through 3650 Long Beach Road. Mrs. Minerva, we have you sworn in from earlier. Just your name and address again for the record.
Dominic Minerva, Minerva and D'Agostino, 107 South Central Avenue, Valley Stream, New York, attorney for the applicant. Good afternoon. Okay, the application before you today is for area variances to permit the installation of refurbished signs at the shopping center located at 3600 Long Beach Road in Oceanside. Shopping center is located at the southwest corner of Long Beach Road and Daly Boulevard and is a multi-tenant, multi-acre, large open-air shopping center with multiple tenant anchors such as Kohl's, Michael's, and Staples. The 4 proposed commercial freestanding signs will be located in the same location as the existing 4 commercial freestanding signs. The existing signs were approved in 2004 pursuant to variances from this board, which were last renewed under case numbers 694 of 21 through 691 of 26, except for one sign, which I believe is an older sign that had a prior permit, and those were renewed through December 8th, 2026. 2 of the signs are located along Long Beach Road at the northerly entrance to the shopping center. One sign is located along Long Beach Road at the southerly entrance, and the last sign is located along the entrance to the shopping center off Daly Boulevard. Other than the variance from the bottom edge of the sign, these variances were previously approved for the existing sign. The height of the refurbished sign is proposed to be slightly higher than the existing signs as a result of an addition of a sign topper that is proposed to be added that looks like a crown molding with the numerical address of the shopping center. I'm going to submit a comparison exhibit depicting the height of each of the signs. So let me submit that exhibit. Let's see. Okay, so the sign on Daly Boulevard is currently 18 feet 5 inches. The proposal is 20 feet 8 1/8 inch. There were anywhere from 1.5 to 2 feet more for each sign for the crown that's proposed to be added to the top.
And that's basically all the signs.
Yeah, that's all the signs.
So it's just increasing it another foot.
We're increasing each one around 2, like I said, anywhere. Each sign's a little different in their original size, so anywhere from, I think, 1.5 feet. I think the biggest one is the northerly entrance on Long Beach Road. That's 20 feet 1 inch. It becomes 23 feet 6 inches. So that one's 3 feet increase for the crown on the top.
And those signs were previously approved by the board with conditions that were imposed?
That's correct.
And those conditions will be maintained or continued?
Yes, there is, right now, the design for the signs. They're updating all the lighting from the incandescent to the LED. There was an on-off time requirement in the decisions. The proposal now has sensors instead that would go on and off with dusk and dawn, but the client, if the board feels that the hours are, should be continued, the applicant will install the timer in lieu of the sensor.
Okay.
So the sensors would do dawn and dusk.
Sensors would be dawn to dusk. The original decision, I believe, said the sign illumination shall be extinguished when the premises are not open for business.
We do have one email in opposition.
Sure.
Cold? Want me to close the window? Want me to give you a light?
If the signs won't be.
Okay, they're concerned about what the sign would look like. Again, it's pretty much the same sign. All we're doing is putting the topper up, and instead of the skinny stand, we're doing something more decorative, which they'll be lower, they wouldn't even see that.
And the lighting,
And the lighting.
will be
Again-
extinguished at dusk, so
No, it would be turned on
at dusk.
at dusk and
And turned
extinguished
off.
at dawn, so it'd be on all night. But the applicant will put the timer in.
Wait, why would you have, okay, I see what.
Go
But
ahead.
When it gets dark, it would,
Yeah, do it that way. When it gets dark, it'll go on. When it's bright, it'll go off.
right, but I understand the concern is that, right, you'd be on at night. So we'll keep the,
Well, think about, but Mr. Minerva, I'm gonna go take a look at it, because I live nearest it.
got me,
Because those wide, the width of those, I know it seems like a nothing, but I'm still a little concerned of the blocking of the visibility. I know the skinny legs look ugly, but there is, if you look even at the photos, granted, like the one that's over that comes off Long Beach Road if you're heading south, it looks a lot better, but I want to check, even though that's a turn in, it does block a lot of the visibility of the street, but no one's going out there, so I understand that.
I believe at this location, though, I do think that there's a median there, so you're only turning out.
No, you
right.
don't turn out there by that one. That one you only come in. I'm talking about the one, if you're going southbound on Long Beach Road, the first one that you come to is an in only, which
Yes,
is
I
the
see
one
that,
you have on
correct.
your picture.
That's the one that has the two signs, it's an in only, yes.
Yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
it may not be an issue, and then the others are, like the one that's, I don't know what's numbered here, page 8 of 9. I just want to check that one, because believe it or not, if you even look at your own photos, the difference in those, as silly as it seems, if you look at the difference in the visibility, it may be irrelevant depending on where cars are in and out, but I'll go take a look at it. But if, in the event that that there seems to be a site issue, we can we'll figure it out.
Yeah, as I said, they're going to be in the same location. I understand the stands are going to be wider because they're going to be now, more decorative. I believe that one, and that one I believe is set back 10 feet, and like you said, that's where, so the one is the exit,
Right, you're right.
entrance and exit area.
Yeah,
So that one is showing a 10-foot setback.
yeah, but, okay. Move the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. Mr. Minerva, you'll be notified by mail the board's decision once it's rendered.
Thank you.
Thank you. I got it. Wait, hold on.
So we have two cases that were put on the second call. First one was case 250 of 2025 in West Hempstead. Ara Terosian. Can I have that file?
We need a better solution for these, if we could have those things.
Next, we have case 25025, West Hempstead, Eric Jerosian, renewal of grant to maintain two-family dwelling, also known as 256 Ivy Street.
Good afternoon.
Alicia Tamian, and I'm here for Eric Jerosian. Only the name.
Speak as loudly as you can.
Alicia Tamian, 256 Ivy Street, West Hempstead, New York, 11552.
When you speak, I know you feel like you're speaking loudly, but it's more difficult to hear of her, and she's got to hear you clearly to take down.
Alicia Tamian, A-L-I-C-E, Tamian, Y-E-T-E-M-I-A-N, 256 Ivy Street, West Hempstead, New York, 11552.
And you're here for the renewal of a grant to maintain a two-family dwelling. Is that correct?
Correct, yes.
The building department inspected the property on March 24th, 2025.
Correct.
And they found that all conditions previously imposed by this board were being complied with. Do you have anything you would like to add?
No.
Okay. Do I have any questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
I'll move that the hearing be closed, that the matter be placed on the decision calendar. You will be notified by mail of the board's decision once it's rendered.
Second, all in favor?
Thank you.
Any opposed?
Have a good day.
Last case on second call.
Next, we have case 25225 through 25325, Merrick Ali A. Khan. Variances, front yard setbacks on both streets, maintain addition attached dwelling. Variance, side yard, maintain two AC units attached dwelling. Also known as 136 Smith Street.
Hi, Tim Jordan, 74 Cherry Lane, Smithtown, New York, 11787. Afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm here today representing Ali A. Khan, who's the new owner of 136 Smith Street. We're here before you today because a renovation was done back in 2008 and then got modified a few years back, and during that modification, a screened-in porch in the front, which was originally part of the house, the non-conforming house. The house was approximately built in 1920, was enclosed and turned into a walk-in closet. We are also here, which caused a front yard setback, and we are also here on the two HVAC units which were put on the side of the house where 5 feet was required, and we are holding 2.7 feet. The front yard variances, being a corner lot, it's 25, which is required, and we are currently holding 19.9 on the Smith Street and 18.5 on the Washington side.
And when this addition was made and then later changed again, is that the reason that these front yard setbacks, or were they already from the original structure that was non-conforming?
That is what triggered it, is now that it was habitable space, it was an encroachment into the front yard. Even though it was an existing, it wasn't an expansion, it was within the footprint of the existing dwelling. The enclosure and it becoming like habitable space, such as a walk-in closet, triggered the front yard variance.
Wait. Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. What was it before it was enclosed? It was a porch with...
Yeah, screened in like Florida room style.
And that was not considered habitable, I guess? And
No,
that's-
that is not.
And then that's what caused, because it got converted, that's what caused the variance.
Yeah, well, we were going to have to be here anyway because of where the HVACs were placed.
Is the area of the previously screened porch, now closet, et cetera, is that the entire area that's single hatch that wraps around?
So, no, when you see the entranceway, you walk.
Is that where there's two walkways?
Right, right. So basically,
The walkway off Washington or Smith?
Smith.
Okay.
This is strictly Smith. The main entrance is actually on the Washington side where the driveway is.
Okay.
This is the original entranceway in the front on the Smith Street side.
Okay.
So when you walk in, the walk-in closet is to the right, and to the left is the open living room.
To the left is what?
Open
The-
living
The
room.
living room.
Open living room. I thought you said
Yeah.
old living room.
Have you been in the house recently?
Yes, I have.
And how many kitchens are in the house?
There's only one. The previous application in 2008, I guess they had plans, but unfortunately, they must have had some problems. It was 2008. This particular property was left in a state of unfinished construction for a long time. It's currently now finally done. It is it's beautiful now and well maintained, as opposed to as it has been for over a decade.
It looks like there could be two families potentially, the side door and the
Well,
front.
the original, their idea was a mother-daughter, which we, those were the people that took out the permit in 2008. They, as I was mentioning, they ran out of, obviously, funds or whatever, and fell on hardship. The
2008
property
was a big year for that.
was sold to a contractor who didn't want to do the two-family,
Senior
the
residence.
second, the second kitchen.
Mother-daughter.
So, the kitchen was never done. The application's been withdrawn, as well as a fence application, and, yeah, actually, I think that's
So-
it. Oh, everything else has been closed out, except for this supplement and the HVACs, and some
So-
plumbing.
You said that that addition was originally done in '08, and then again altered to some degree a couple of years ago. So
Yes.
I originally didn't realize the addition in '08 was done with the benefit of permits, right?
Correct.
So why is it, how much was it, why wasn't that already closed out?
Because they did not follow the plans that,
Oh.
when
so-
they were building it.
So from the beginning, they had a permit but didn't build it,
And didn't build it correctly.
and then when they made additional alterations, that was just without the benefit of the permit.
It was really more just interior as far as the layout.
So everything we're looking at right now that is put down as, so there's a second floor addition with a permit in '08 and a first floor alteration and porch conversion in '08 with a permit. Everything that's labeled that right here was with a permit but not done, or I guess the second floor was done in accordance with the permit because you're not here for that.
Well, yeah, I mean, so there was, other than some structural, inspections that needed to be handled and opened up for the inspector, Young, to see, he helped me with this, because it was a little bit complicated with there being an existing permit and them failing a couple of inspections. And as we put this together, it was not only an alteration or amendment to an existing permit, but now we, due to him converting that to habitable space, created another problem in us having to come before you.
So the '08 permit, that did or did not come to the zoning board?
That's before you now. It's a supplement to the '08 building permit.
But I mean, when they got those permits, did they do so with variances or were they in compliance?
No variances.
So those permits originally would have had the 25-foot setback on each, but that's what he built 19 and 18 and change.
Correct.
So he built it significantly outside the permit.
This was a, if I can interject, This is a house from like 1920s. They haven't, with the exception of the back, they haven't encroached on any of their existing footprint that when the house was built.
Wait. The first floor, that, just using the front yard setbacks.
Yeah.
You request 19.9 and 18.5.
Correct.
But though, that's something that was actually built with a permit that didn't need variances, the permit being issued in '08, right? Forget the enclosure. It was constructed with that permit. That's what it says on my materials.
Yes.
So it must have been proposed with 25 setbacks on both sides, right? So what? That's permitted encroachment? This one? I made that line. But this right here, this wraparound porch, he got a permit to build that. No, this was part of the original house. Oh, because look on here, he shows this. Right, this is something. But see, it says permit. That was the subject of the permit. No, this is, he wasn't touching this before. He closed this foundation. Okay, so this thing saying that that was the permit from '08 is just wrong. Right. This is what's being done. Yeah, I got it. Okay, so Ms. First, who's one of our best plans examiners, that's why she helps us down here with her expertise, where on the site plan it indicates that that addition, it says that it was part of the '08 permit. Apparently, that's just incorrect, that it was part of the original structure, and that's what's created the confusion. So, I understand that.
Okay.
Okay.
The washroom in front?
And how did you come to know that this, or your client, that this all needed to be legalized? I guess it's part of putting in those AC units?
No, we knew we had to, because of the differences and the permit not being
Closed out.
it was actually Mrs. First. She suggested to go the amendment route on this, which really was, was very good of her to advise that way, because it would have been a lot more complicated had it become a new permit. By it now being an amendment, you can see where it tails off. The other one, it's part of the existing second floor. That much they did follow. So the minor things that on the interior are a lot easy to explain and correct and finally get a CO for the house.
And Ms. First, so when looking at the chart, they have a lot of variance conditions, but I guess those were already dealt, like the lot area occupied, that's already been covered in the non-conforming. And just in case it wasn't on the record, the one side yard that's required 5, you have 4.7, it's de minimis.
Any other questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
Move the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. You'll be notified by mail of the board's decision once it's rendered. Thank you.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That concludes the morning calendar. Break for lunch. Yeah. Not gonna do it now. I have to go. Motion to close. No, I can't make motions. Motion to close. Second. All in favor? Any opposed?